What will you do if a beggar you try to give money on the street gives you a gift that will give you luck and favor but also bring danger to you and people around you? Stay tuned as we listen to this interesting story of a girl who was given this gift by a beggar. Please support my channel by subscribing, like and leave your comments. It was a beautiful Tuesday morning in Lagos. The sun was already up, yet the streets were alive with the usual chaos, car horns noise, street hawkers shouting to sell their goods, and pedestrians weaving through the traffic. Among the crowd was Angela, a young and ambitious woman in her late 20s. She had a sharp wit and big dreams of one day owning a thriving fashion business. For now, though, she worked as a secretary at a small real estate firm. Angela wasn't the kind to believe in miracles or fate. Life had taught her to rely only on herself. Growing up in Ajigona with her widowed mother, she had learned to hustle for everything she had. But even her tough upbringing hadn't prepared her for what was about to happen that morning. As Angela rushed to catch a bus to her office, she noticed a beggar sitting on the pavement near the bus stop. The man looked frail and ragged, his eyes sunken but strangely kind. In his hands, he held a small clay bowl with a few naira notes and coins. Angela's heart ached for him, but she had grown up hearing her mother's warnings: don't give money to beggars, you don't know who might be using juju. But this beggar was different. His gaze seemed to follow her as though he could see right into her soul. "Madam," the beggar called out softly. "Please, spare me a moment." Angela hesitated. The bus she needed was about to arrive, and she couldn't afford to be late for work again. Still, something about the man made her pause. Against her better judgment, she approached him. "What is it?" she asked, keeping her tone polite but wary. The beggar smiled, revealing a gap-toothed grin. "You have a good heart," he said. "And because of that, I want to give you something." Angela frowned. This wasn't what she expected. "You want to give me something," she repeated. The beggar nodded and reached into a tattered bag by his side. He pulled out a small wooden box, intricately carved with strange patterns. "Take this," he said, holding it out to her. Angela took a step back. "I don't think." "Take it," he said, his voice suddenly firm. "This is not just a box. It will change your life." A chill ran down Angela's spine. She didn't believe in charms or magic, but the man's intensity was unsettling. The bus screeched to a halt behind her, and passengers began to board. "Fine," she said quickly, grabbing the box. She stuffed it into her handbag and ran to catch the bus. As the vehicle rumbled down the road, Angela couldn't stop thinking about the box. Why had the beggar insisted on giving it to her? What did he mean by saying it would change her life? When she arrived at work, Angela placed the box in her drawer and tried to focus on her tasks. But throughout the day, strange things began to happen. First, her boss, Mr. Johnson, who rarely paid her any attention, suddenly praised her work during a staff meeting. "Angela, your report on the estate project was exceptional," he said, smiling warmly. "Keep it up." Then, during lunch, her colleague Rita, who was known for being stingy, offered to buy her a meal. "You've been working so hard lately," Rita said. "You deserve it." By the time Angela got home that evening, she was exhausted but deeply puzzled. Could these sudden acts of kindness have anything to do with the box? Curiosity got the better of her. She retrieved the wooden box from her handbag and opened it. Inside was a single golden coin, glimmering faintly even in the dim light of her room. Angela held the coin up, turning it over in her hand. It felt warm to the touch, almost as if it were alive. On one side was an engraving of a sun, and on the other, a crescent moon. "What are you?" she whispered, half to herself. Suddenly, her phone buzzed. It was a text message from her landlord, Mr. Bassi. "Angela, I've decided to reduce your rent by 50% starting next month. You've been such a reliable tenant. God bless you." Angela stared at the screen, her heart racing. Mr. Bassi had never been the generous type. In fact, he was known for increasing rents without warning. "This can't be a coincidence," she said. The following days only deepened the mystery. Everywhere Angela went, people seemed to treat her with an unusual level of kindness and respect. At the market, vendors gave her extra goods for free. On the bus, strangers offered her their seats. Even the traffic warden, who was notorious for harassing drivers, let her pass without a fine when she accidentally ran a red light. But the strange occurrences didn't stop there. One night, Angela had a dream. In it, she was standing in a vast field under a golden sky. The beggar appeared before her, looking healthier and stronger than she remembered. "The coin is a blessing," he said, his voice echoing. "But every blessing comes with a price." Angela woke up in a cold sweat. The words lingered in her mind, filling her with unease. What price was he talking about? She soon found out. A week after receiving the coin, Angela noticed a man following her as she walked home. He was tall and shadowy, his face obscured by a hoodie. At first, she thought she was imagining things. But when she quickened her pace, so did he. Angela ducked into a side street, hoping to lose him, but the man was relentless. He cornered her near a closed shop, his dark eyes glinting under the dim streetlight. "I know you have the coin," the man said, his voice cold and commanding. "How do you?" Angela began, but the man cut her off. "Give it to me," he demanded, taking a step closer. Angela clutched her bag tightly, her mind racing. "I don't know what you're talking about." The man laughed, a harsh, humorless sound. "Don't play dumb with me. That coin doesn't belong to you. Hand it over, and I'll let you go." Angela's heart pounded. She didn't understand what was happening, but she knew one thing for sure: she couldn't give up the coin. Without thinking, she swung her bag at the man and bolted down the street. His shouts followed her, but she didn't look back. When she finally reached the safety of her apartment, she locked the door behind her and collapsed onto the floor, trembling. As she sat there, holding the coin, she realized that whatever the beggar had given her was more powerful and more dangerous than she had ever imagined. Angela couldn't sleep that night. Every shadow in her room seemed to move, and every creak of the floorboards made her heart leap. She clutched the golden coin tightly in her hand, her mind racing with questions. Who was the man who had followed her? How did he know about the coin? And most importantly, why did he want it so badly? The next morning, Angela decided to seek answers. She couldn't go to the police not with such a strange story. Instead, she thought of someone who might help. There was an elderly woman named Mama Uche who lived 2 streets away. Mama Uche was known in the neighborhood for her wisdom and knowledge of spiritual matters. Some said she was a retired herbalist. Others whispered that she had once been a priestess. Either way, Angela had seen people visit her for guidance, and she hoped the old woman could shed light on her situation. Holding the wooden box and the coin, Angela knocked on Mama Uche's door. The house was small but tidy, with a strong smell of herbs wafting from within. The door creaked open, and Mama Uche appeared, her sharp eyes narrowing as she looked Angela over. "You carry something heavy, my child," she said, her voice low and measured. Angela blinked. Yes, I need your help." "Come in," Mama Uche said, stepping aside. Inside, the room was dimly lit and filled with shelves of jars, dried plants, and strange-looking artifacts. Angela hesitated before sitting on a wooden stool near the center of the room. "What troubles you?" Mama Uche asked, taking a seat opposite her. Angela placed the wooden box and the coin on the table between them. "A beggar gave this to me," she began, recounting everything that had happened since she received the gift. Mama Uche listened intently, her expression unreadable. When Angela finished, the old woman reached for the coin, holding it up to the light. "This is no ordinary coin," Mama Uche said, her voice grave. "It has powerful energy, both a blessing and a curse." Angela's stomach tightened. "What do you mean?" Mama Uche leaned closer, her eyes looking into Angela's. "The coin magnifies the intentions of those around you. That is why you have experienced kindness and favor. But it also attracts envy, greed, and danger. Those who knows its power will stop at nothing to take it from you." Angela felt a chill run down her spine. "So what should I do? Should I get rid of it?" Mama Uche shook her head. "It's not that simple. The coin is bound to you now. If you try to discard it, it will always find its way back. You must decide how to use its power and whether you are willing to face the consequences." Angela sat in silence, her mind racing. She thought about the strange dream she'd had, the beggar's warning, and the man who had followed her. This coin was more than she had bargained for, but she couldn't deny its allure. "What kind of consequences?" Angela asked hesitantly. Mama Uche's face darkened. "The coin grants favor, but it also brings imbalance. For every good thing it gives you, something else may be taken away. Be careful, my child. Too much of anything good or bad can destroy you." Angela left Mama Uche's house feeling more confused than ever. She couldn't bring herself to part with the coin, but she also couldn't ignore the danger it posed. Over the next few weeks, Angela's life continued to change in ways she couldn't have imagined. Her boss gave her a promotion, doubling her salary. A famous fashion designer discovered her sketches on social media and offered her a collaboration. Even her relationship with her estranged mother began to heal after years of tension. But with each blessing came a shadow. Angela started noticing that people around her were growing suspicious and envious. Her colleagues whispered behind her back, spreading rumors that she was using charms to get ahead. Her neighbor, who had always been friendly, suddenly accused her of stealing her good fortune. The worst came when Angela discovered that her childhood friend, Tond, had been in a car accident. She hadn't seen Tond in months, but she couldn't shake the feeling that the coin was somehow connected to his misfortune. One night, as Angela sat alone in her apartment, staring at the coin, she heard a loud knock at the door. Her heart raced as she approached cautiously. "Who is it?" she called out, her voice trembling. "It's me, Tond," came the reply. Angela froze. Tond. How could it be him? She opened the door hesitantly, and there he was, looking gaunt and haunted. "Tond. I heard about your accident." "Save it," he snapped, pushing past her into the apartment. I need to talk to you. Angela closed the door. What's going on? Tom turned to face her, his eyes with anger. You did this to me. What? Angela gasped. What are you talking about? Don't play innocent, Tom said. I know about the coin. People have been talking. Ever since you got it, everything in my life has fallen apart. My car, my job, my health, it's all because of you. Angela shook her head, tears streaming down her face. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I didn't even know this coin existed until a few weeks ago. Tom's expression softened slightly, but his anger was still evident. You have to get rid of it, Angela. It's destroying everything around you. I can't, she whispered. It's bound to me. I tried to get rid of it, but it keeps coming back. Tom stared at her, his face a mix of anger and despair. Then you need to find a way to stop it before it's too late. Desperate for answers, Angela returned to Mama Uche the next day. There must be a way to end this, Angela pleaded. Mama Uche nodded slowly. There is one way, she said. But it is not without risk. Tell me, Angela said, her voice firm. The coin's power can be neutralized, Mama Uche explained. But you must return it to its source. The beggar who gave it to you holds the key. Angela's heart sank. She hadn't seen the beggar since the day he gave her the box. Finding him in a city as big as Lagos seemed impossible. Still, she had no choice. Over the next few days, Angela searched the streets, retracing her steps and asking anyone who would listen if they had seen the beggar. Most people dismissed her, but one woman, a street vendor, finally gave her a lead. Oh, that man, the vendor said. I've seen him near the old train station. He's always sitting by the gate. Angela's pulse quickened. She thanked the vendor and hurried to the train station. When she arrived, she saw the beggar sitting exactly where the vendor had described. He looked just as frail as before, but his eyes sparkled with knowing. You've come back, he said, smiling faintly. Angela approached cautiously, clutching the coin in her hand. I need to return this, she said, holding it out to him. The beggar shook his head. It's not that simple. Then tell me what to do, Angela cried. This coin has brought me nothing but chaos. The beggar's expression grew serious. The coin reveals the truth about people, their kindness, their greed, their envy. It is not the coin that brings chaos, but the hearts of those it touches. Angela stared at him, her mind racing. But I didn't ask for this. I don't want this responsibility. The beggar nodded. You do. But the choice is yours. You can keep the coin and learn to use its power wisely, or you can destroy it. But if you destroy it, you must be willing to sacrifice everything it has given you. Angela's heart sank. She thought of her promotion, her newfound success, and her mended relationship with her mother. Was she willing to give it all up? Tears streamed down her face as she made her decision. The next morning, Angela stood on the beach, the golden coin in her hand. The beggar had told her that the only way to destroy it was to cast it into the ocean under the first light of dawn. As the sun rose, Angela whispered a prayer and threw the coin into the waves. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a strange sense of peace washed over her. She felt lighter. Angela returned to her life, knowing she had made the right choice. Though she lost her promotion and her collaboration with the fashion designer, she found a deeper sense of purpose. She started her own small fashion business, relying on her hard work and determination. The coin was gone, but its lessons stayed with her forever. If you were the one that have this coin, will you let it go and let go of all the luck it brings, or will you keep it and enjoy the luck while others suffers for its consequences? Let me know your answers in the comment section, and please do well to subscribe and like my channel for more interesting and stories that will teach you more moral lessons in your everyday life.